All of you all, very good morning, everyone. Welcome to your Unit 2 class. Okay, I hope all of you are keeping fine, doing good. Now, guys, since our holidays, this is our first Unit 2 class. Okay, so I think it's important that I do a quick recap of what we have done in CSS so far, and then we'll continue from where we stopped. Okay, now everybody, just before the holidays, we started the chapter of CSS, cascading style sheets. Okay. And guys, I told you all, when it comes to connecting your CSS file to your HTML file, there are three ways of doing it. Boys, come on. There are three ways of doing it. Okay. Do you guys remember the three methods that can be used when it comes to integrating CSS into your HTML web page? Okay, the break is over. The class has started. Okay. When it comes to integrating CSS into your HTML web page, I showed you all three ways of doing it. Do you all remember the names of these three methods? There is one where you can put your CSS coding or you can put your CSS properties in the opening HTML tags. What were we calling that? What styling was that known as? Inline styling, right? Everybody, guys, girls, all of you look at my screen. We created something called inline styling. Now, everybody, if you come into your properties, view page source, over here, what did I do? Inside my opening tag itself, I have done my styling. Inside my opening tags, I have done my styling. This is what we were calling inline styling. Remember? Inline styling is where you put your CSS properties, you put your CSS styling inside your HTML tags. Okay? What is your limitation with using inline styling? What was your limitation? Nobody remembers any limitation here? You could only do so much with inline styling. What was it? Everybody, come on, help me here. When you use inline styling, this styling gets applied to what? Gets applied only to this particular tag, isn't it? This styling of color red gets applied only to this particular tag, isn't it? This styling of font size 32 pixels gets applied only to this tag. Agree with me? In inline styling, boys, girls, in inline styling, your styling properties get applied only to specific tags. Are we okay with this? So then we learn something a little more advanced than inline. This was where you put your styling properties inside the head tag. What were we calling that? Guys, girls, all of you, we had another one called internal styling. In internal styling, what was happening? Let me right click and show you when I come to view page source. Can you see my styling is done inside the head area? Everybody saw this? In internal styling. Inline, you guys saw. Then we moved on to internal. In internal, what were we doing? We were doing the styling inside the head tag. And over here, what happens? You're saying apply the following properties to all my H1 tags. Apply the following properties to all my paragraph tags. What was your limitation here? Anyone remembers the limitation for this? Now, in internal styling, it was being applied only to specific tags. In internal styling, it's being applied to all the tags within a particular page. Is it clear? These properties will apply to all the H1s in this web page only. Are we okay with this? These properties get applied to all the H1s in this web page only. Now, what if you have multiple web pages? Think about Ikman. They have many web pages and they want the same styling across all those web pages. Then what do? Then they go for something called external styling. External styling is where, everyone look here. External styling is where you have a separate file where you do your styling. Everyone look here. Let me quickly open this in Sublime Text and show you all. Give me a second. I'll close all this. Everyone over here, what did I do? Here I created a separate file with various styling properties. And what did I do? I connected this CSS file to my HTML web page. You get it? And if you want, guys, you can connect this CSS file to many HTML web pages. You guys get it? So external styling allows you to put CSS properties to many web pages. Are we okay with this? Okay, you all remember the limitations now? In inline styling, the styling gets applied only to a specific tag in a particular web page. In internal styling, what happens? The styling gets applied to a tag in an entire web page. And in external styling, you can put your styling across multiple web pages. You can put it to a tag across multiple web pages. Are you okay with these three differences? Okay, we did that. Okay, now guys, girls, I'm going to move away from there. I feel like you guys don't remember what I did last time. The face that you guys are showing me doesn't look good. Okay, so I feel like I might have to go through this again. Anyway, then guys, we also moved on to something called selectors. What do you mean by selectors, guys? We did this area where you can refer to elements in your HTML web page, isn't it? So everybody, let me quickly open this up and show you all. Everybody, when it came to selectors, guys, girls, what if anyone remembers what's the name of this selector? We call it a what? When you mention a tag name, when you refer to a tag, what do we call it? Element selector. Guys, you'll have these with you all, right? In your CSS file, you can refer to tags. You can say H1, you can say paragraph, you can say H2, you can say IMG, you can say anchor tag. You can refer to them by their tag name itself. That's what we call an element selector. Then guys, we had another one where you can give an ID for your tags. Is it clear? Everyone, look at this web page over here. Look at this web page over here. I'm going to right click and say view page source. Look, where is it? Can you guys see? For this paragraph, I have given an ID called para1. I have given an ID called para1, and I can refer to it in my CSS file. How do I refer to it? I say hashtag para1, and then I mention the property. This is method number 2. This is what we call ID selector. You are referring to your HTML element by mentioning its ID. Method number 3 was what? Class selector. So everyone, look at this paragraph over here. In this paragraph over here, can you all see? I have given it a class. Is it clear? So now when I want to refer to this paragraph, what do? I mention the class name. How do you mention a class name? Dot para2. And now you mention the property. This was method number 3 here. Everyone okay with this? Method number 4, we had something called universal selector. You put an asterisk. Asterisk means what? Universal means what? Anyone? What does universal mean? Apply it to all the elements. Universal means this applies to all the elements. Every single element is going to have a color of red. This is what we call a universal selector. And then we had another one called, that was it, right? Over here I did a combination. I mentioned a tag and I mentioned the class. Okay, so up to here we had 4 simple selectors where you have element selector, ID selector, class selector, universal selector. Then over here I did a mix of some of them. Over here I mentioned the tag and the class. Are we all okay with this? Okay, right. Anyway, I'm not happy with how you guys are looking over here. It's like I'm teaching something brand new over here. Let's do a revision over here now, everyone. We're going to do a revision now. Okay. I'm going to close all this. So what are we going to call our file? Everybody, guys, girls, we are now in lesson number 27. Okay, so can everyone open up lesson 27? Let's take up Sublime Text. Everyone, Sublime Text, I'm going to save it. File save. I'm going to call it 27 dash. 27 dash. This will be revision on CSS number 1, right? Okay. CSS Revision 1.html. This is my HTML file. Now lesson number 27 dash CSS Revision 1.html. Can everyone do this? Number 27 dash CSS Revision 1.html. Okay, right. Everybody okay with that? So this CSS Revision 1, I'm going to use external styling. What does that mean? I'm going to have a separate CSS file. For this particular revision, I'm going to be using an external CSS. I'm going to use external styling, which means I'm going to have a separate file with my CSS properties. So can we create a CSS file also? I'm going to come and say file. I want a new file. I want a new file. This is going to be called what? I'm going to save it now itself. I'm going to save it and I'm going to say what? Again, 27-CSS Revision 1. And then what will my file extension be? Come on, let's answer this. .css. This is my CSS file now. So my file extension here will be .css. Okay. Number 27-CSS Revision 1 .css. And I'm going to click on save. Then guys, girls, I was recommending you all have your HTML file and your CSS file next to each other. Anyone remember the shortcut key? How do I get these? So all of you all right now, both of these are inside one window. HTML file, CSS file are both inside one window. You need to break them, separate them. You can right click and say split. You can do that. I didn't know that. You can right click over here and just say split view. Okay. So now you have your CSS on the right and you have your HTML on the left. Okay. I prefer my way, I think. Anyway, I'm going to do it my way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this out. I'm going to drag this out of this window. I'm going to drag this out of this window. So drag it out. Now can you all see, guys? I have two windows. This is my CSS window. This is my HTML window. I'm going to press Windows left. Windows key and left. That jumps to the left. It asks me, what do you want on the right? I choose the CSS file. Everybody can do that now? Okay, so on the left I have my HTML file, on the right I have my CSS file. Are we good? I'll give more space for HTML. I'll give more space for my HTML file. Anyone's laptop I need to come to? Mark, up to this point done? Guys online, up to this point, okay? Okay, so I'm having both my windows side by side. It becomes easier for me to work with both together. Then guys, girls, everybody, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give my opening tags. And the good part is HTML will give it for you. So if you just type over here, angle bracket, HTML, here it asks you, do you want the HTML snippet? HTML snippet will give you all the HTML opening tags. Are we good? You just choose that. Yes, I want that. Sorry. Try again, HT, and you just choose this snippet. You install it. Okay, so I choose the snippet. I get all my opening tags. Then can you all give a title, guys? Revision, CSS Revision. CSS Revision 1. Okay? Right. Then everybody over here, I'm going to have a heading over here, H1 open. I'm going to say H1. And over here, I'm going to say revising CSS selectors. Revising CSS selectors is what my heading is going to say. Okay? Right. Then I'm going to say over here, I'm going to open a paragraph and say paragraph open, paragraph close. And I'm going to say over here, ID selectors. Or I'll say over here, this paragraph has an ID of para 1. This paragraph has an ID of para 1. I'm going to have another paragraph over here. This paragraph has a class of para 2. Okay? This paragraph has a class of para 2. I'm going to have another heading. I'm going to say over here, this is heading 1. This is heading 1. and I'm going to have another paragraph that says, this paragraph also has an ID of para1. Are we all okay with this? What's happening? Right. So you have HTML file over here. You didn't save this properly. You put .css. File save as. You're saving everything in documents. You have a folder for all your work. Where are you saving? Go to the desktop and then create a new folder called Unit 2. Here. This folder CSS Revision .css. Okay. This also can be put inside that folder. File save as. In your desktop, there is a desktop which is over here. Okay, .html. Don't leave this page. Okay. When you go to your desktop, you see this folder. So consider this is a web page. You can see those CSS files. Okay. Nothing you can change the whole thing. It is good. I can't get your opening table. HT. Snippet means snippet of HTML. These are all the opening text. So now can you follow? You're sitting in a very difficult place. I come somewhere here. Right, boys, girls, everybody. Boys, girls, everybody. Now it's time. Now everybody, you have your HTML page. You also have your CSS page over here. I want to link CSS to my HTML pages. Is it clear? I have an external CSS file now. I need to link this to this web page. So everybody, what were we doing for that? What tags were we using? We were using link tag, and link tag comes where? Inside your head area. Link comes inside your head. So inside my head area, below title, above title, it doesn't matter. I'm going to open a new tag called link. So it asks me, do you want to link a style sheet? I'm going to choose that. Yes, that's exactly what I want to link. I choose that. Okay, so relationship is style sheet, type is, all this is fine. href is where you give the name of your CSS file. Be very, very careful here, because if you make a spelling mistake, you put a space, you remove a space, the file will not connect. So what I would normally do is, I would go and copy and paste the name. If I were you guys, I would go to my folder and copy the name of that file, which is here. I would copy my file name, Control C, and I would come and paste it over here, Control V, and don't forget the .css. Everyone okay with this? So I have just connected my what? My CSS file. I have now linked it with my HTML file. Now I need to make sure it's working now. So I'm going to give a background color of light blue or something, just to make sure it's working. Okay. Okay, everybody. So now the linking has been done. Now I'm going to open this in Google Chrome and see how it looks. So I go into my folder and I open up my web page. So far in Google Chrome, guys, what's happening? My heading has appeared, paragraph, heading, paragraph. Right now, no problems. Everything has appeared without a problem. Now it's time for me to do some styling. Okay. So everybody, what I'm going to do now is, in my CSS file, I want to make sure the linking is successful. So do something that will make it very obvious, like changing the background color. We'll just change the background color and see if it actually changes. If it actually changes, we know linking is successful. If it doesn't change, we know something is not right. So in my CSS file, I'm going to say body. I'm referring to the body tag, and I'm going to open parentheses. Property number 1 I'm going to talk about is the background color. I want the background color to be light blue. Everybody okay with this? I want the background color to be light blue. Okay, save your CSS file, save your HTML file. Now come and refresh your web page and see, did the background color change? The background color changed for me. That means the linking was successful. Okay, I have properly done my linking. Okay. Anyone's laptop I need to come to? What happened? You just follow my code for now. Okay, I'll come. Let me do it. Everybody, guys, let's keep moving. Everybody, over here, I have mentioned the what do you call we call this an element selector. I have mentioned the element body tag. Okay, can we just put a comment over there? How do you put a comment in? Sorry, no, no, it is HTML. In CSS, we were putting slash star. We were only putting hashtag, right? Slash star, and then we are closing it with asterisk star. Yeah. Sorry, everybody. Comment was going as slash asterisk. Okay, so can you all just say below is an element selector. Below is an element selector. This is my comment. Okay, I have just mentioned over here that this is an element selector where you only mention the tag. Okay, you only mention the element. Then, guys, below we are going to have what we call a ID selector. Below is an ID selector. So now everybody look here, guys, girls, boys, all of you look here. I want to talk about this particular paragraph. I want this particular paragraph to be affected. So what do? I'm going to mention, for this paragraph, I'm going to give it an ID. In HTML, guys, can you all see? This particular paragraph, I'm going to give it an ID. I'm going to say ID is equal to, and I'll call it para1. Para1. Now in CSS, I want to refer to this particular paragraph, and I want only this particular paragraph to be modified. I don't want this paragraph and this paragraph to be modified. I want only this particular paragraph to be modified. So I can refer to it by its ID. If you are referring to an ID, you must put a hashtag in front and then mention the ID, which is para1. Okay, and now mention the property that you want. So now I'm going to say I want the font face or the font family. The font family has to be Tahoma. Okay, I want the paragraph which has an ID called para1 to have a font family called Tahoma. So we save it, save this, and when I come and refresh, can you all see this particular paragraph has changed? Hold on. This paragraph has an ID of para1. No, it has changed. I'm going to give the same ID for this paragraph also. Everyone, for this paragraph also, I'm going to give the same ID. Okay. Now when I save it and come and refresh, can you all see? This paragraph is also having a font of Tahoma. Everyone saw it? Okay. Can you all try it out now? Is the background going to change? Okay. Right, everybody, let's keep moving. Now, everyone, I'm going to give a class for this heading. For this paragraph, I'm going to give it a class. So I'm going to say class is equal to para2. I'm giving it a class name of para2. Everyone okay with this? Now, when you are referring to a class, when you are referring to a tag by its class name, how do we do it? Everyone, I'm going to put a comment over here. I'm going to put a comment over here and say what? Below is a class selector. Okay, below is a class selector. And what am I going to mention over here? When you are referring to a class, you put dot. You will say dot para1. dot para1. And what's the property, guys? I'm going to say font size. I want the font size to be, for example, I don't know, 20 pixel. I want the font size to be 20 pixels. Sorry, para2. I'm sorry, para2 dot para2. Okay, 20 pixel. Now when I save this, save my HTML file, save my CSS file. When I come and refresh it, can you all see para2? 20 is too small to identify. Let's make it 40. Let's make it 40. So now when I save this and come and refresh, can you all see this particular paragraph only is having a font size of 40. Okay, we call this a what? A class selector. You are referring to your HTML elements by their class name. And then we have one more. We have one more, which we call universal selector. This applies to everything. Below is an universal selector. So over here, what am I going to say? Asterisk. And now you can give properties. Okay. Everybody else okay here? Ramash, how about you? Is it working for you or what? Sure. I see the output from that hand. You see output, it's working well. Okay. Let's see the background model. You see it? Right, everybody, put that away, yeah, back, not in the table, back. Let's close the bag also. Okay, everyone. That's not how you close the bag. Is that how you close the bag? Is the bag fully closed? You sure? Everyone, I'm going to move on to the next one, which is universal selector. In a universal selector, what do we do? Universal selector means whatever properties you give it will be applied to your entire web page. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to say I want all the elements to have a font color of red. So I'm going to say color red. So all the elements, when you say asterisk, it means everything. So everything should have a color of red and should be in the center. So I'll say text align center. Are we all okay with this? So everything, all my elements, color should be red, alignment should be center. Now when I save this, save HTML, save CSS, and when I come and refresh my web page, can you all see everything is red and everything is center aligned. That's what we call universal selector. Okay. Now all these four selectors are what we call simple selectors. You can easily understand them. Are we all okay with this, sir? Okay, we call them simple selectors, nothing too complex about them. Okay, there are some selectors we are going to learn now which are going to be a bit complex. Okay, we call those combined selectors. Okay, how's it going? You got what I got or not yet? Okay, check and see why it didn't change. So you put an ID para1. You mentioned para1 here, you mentioned. But this font colon family is one word. Font dash family, this is not comma. Font dash size 40 pixels. This is a comment. So they can go the next time. Okay. That's the difference. Slash first, then after the slash. Then after the Right, everyone, we're going to move on to a new file now. Guys, girls, everybody, we're going to move on to a new file and we're going to continue using external styling. Yeah, I'll come to you, man. I'm running out of time. Okay, everybody, we're going to move on to our next file, number 28, and we're going to work with something called combined selectors. Okay, we're going to move on to this area. Okay, CSS combinators. Okay, we'll see how this works. Okay, so everybody, guys, girls, all of y'all, can you all take a new HTML file? Take a new HTML file, okay? Let's take a new HTML file, new file, and I'm going to save this as number 28. File save as number 28. 28 dash combine selectors dot HTML. Are we okay with this? Number 28 dash combine selectors dot HTML. Okay? Combine selectors dot HTML. Number 28 dash combine selectors dot HTML. Then on my CSS side, I'm going to create the same file with .css. This is my HTML file, 28 dash combine selectors dot HTML. I'm going to click on save. Then I'm going to go into CSS side, file, new file, and I'm going to save this as file save number 28 combine selectors dot CSS. Number 28 dash combine selectors dot CSS. And now I'm going to click on save. So now I have my HTML file, I have my CSS file. Okay? Hurry up, everybody. Okay, so you want to split it. I would prefer Louis moving to a new vehicle. And you prefer Windows, right? This one, I prefer all the way there. Okay, then shall we get our opening HTML tags, everybody? Everyone, before I do that, can you all go to your folder and see, have you all saved both the files properly? In my folder, I have my HTML file. Everyone saw this? I have my HTML file. I also have my CSS file. So, both are there. If I come to the right hand side, it tells me CSS file, HTML file. So far, things look good for me. Now, shall we go and get our opening HTML tags? In my HTML file, if I just open angle bracket and say HT, the snippet shows up. I can just press enter. This is the snippet that I want. Enter. Then can you guys give a meaningful title? You can just say combine selectors. Combine selectors. Okay, right. Now, I want to make sure my CSS file is connected to my HTML file. I don't want to make sure, I want to connect it. So guys, I want to link it now. So we do the linking inside the head tag now. Inside the head tag, we do it. Using what tag? Using the link tag. So inside my head tag, I'm going to open up the link tag. We open up link. And you let Sublime Text or Visual Studio fill it up for you. So I choose it. Okay. The only thing you have to fill up is the href. Only href you have to fill it up. So instead of you typing your CSS file name, go and copy and paste it. Then lesser chances of you making a mistake. So if I were you, I'll go to my folder. I would click on this name, my CSS file. I would click on it, copy it, because sometimes there'll be a space that you don't notice. Copy it, come here and paste it inside href. And then I'm going to put .css. Okay. So I have now linked my CSS file as well. I need to check whether the linking is successful. So I'll give it a background color in a minute. Okay. No. Just go into rename mode. Okay. Just go into rename. Now copy. All good? Okay. Now let's do something that would make it so obvious for you to know if the linking was successful or not. The easiest is background color. Everybody, let's do something that would make it very obvious whether the linking was successful or not, which is background color. So I'm going to go into my CSS file. I'm going to say body tag. I'm referring to the body, and for the body, I'm going to give it a very simple property called background color. And shall we make it red? Let's make the background color red. Okay, background color is red. Now let me save it. Save HTML. I'm going to refresh my web page and see whether it's working. When I refresh my web page, when I refresh my HTML web page, I am getting a red color background, which means my CSS and HTML have been successfully linked. Okay, can you guys check and see, are you all getting our background colors? If you don't get it, it means it hasn't been successfully linked. Try it, please. Here we go. It works this time. Okay, we're going to remove the background color. Okay. You save both? Do we see a both? Okay, let's remove this background color, guys. Let's remove this background. Or if you want, put a light color. The red is too dark. I'm removing it. Okay, right. Then everybody, guys, girls, all of you all, do you all remember what was the tag we were using to draw text boxes on our web page? Div. Very good. We were using div. Things are going to get very complex now. Okay, so please put all the distractions away and look at me. Okay? Look at my screen. Okay, I'm going to draw my first text box. Okay, well, let's put a heading first. Working with combine selectors. Now I'm going to come down and I'm going to open up my first div box. I'm opening it. Okay, my first div box. Okay, right. I'll be using many div boxes, so I'm going to give each of these div boxes an ID. Are we good? Each of these div boxes, I'm going to give them an ID. I'll call this div box, I'll give it an ID called, what shall I call it? Box 1. I'll call this box 1. Inside this, I'm going to have a couple of paragraphs. Okay? This div box, or you can say this paragraph follows a combine selector. Okay? Known as child selector. Okay, let me see what is the first type I should talk to you all about. Descendant selector, known as descendant selector. Okay, then I'm going to put another paragraph and say this is another paragraph inside the div box 1. Remove this word combine with unnecessary text. This paragraph follows a selector known as descendant selector, and then I have another paragraph called, this is another paragraph inside div box 1. You want to say the div box 1? Inside div box 1. Okay. Now, boys, girls, everybody, I have a text box. Okay, but it doesn't look at all like a text box. Go and refresh your web page and see, does it look like a text box to you all? It just looks like 2 paragraphs to you all, isn't it? There is no border, there is no color, you know, none of that is there. It doesn't look like a text box to you all. Everyone, why don't you all stop for a second and look here? Does this look anything like a text box to you all? I removed the background. I forgot to save my CSS. Save CSS also. Look here. It doesn't look at all like a text box, right? It doesn't look like a text box. So I'm going to put borders for it. I'm going to put a height for it. I'm going to put a width for it and make it look like a text box. So everybody, guys, girls, all of y'all, I'm going to have many text boxes. So how do I refer to this particular text box? I am going to have many div tags. I want to refer to this particular div tag. So what selector are we going to use? ID selector. I'm going to refer to the ID because if I come and type div here, all my div tags are going to get affected. I don't want that to happen. I want only this particular one to be affected. So I'm going to mention my ID. Okay, so IDs, if you are mentioning an ID, what should you put in front? For ID selectors, we start with a hashtag. You have to put a hashtag in front. Then your web browser knows you're talking about the ID. What's the ID? Box 1. And I'm going to give it some simple properties. What are the properties? I want it to have a border. A border of what? 1 pixel solid black. I want it to have a solid line. 1 pixel solid black. Then I want it to have a background color. No need. Okay, I want it to have a height of, I don't know exactly how much. I'll say 100 pixel. 100 pixel. I want it to have a width of, we'll say 30%. I want it to have a width of 30%. And we'll put a background color also. Background color, light pink. A background color of light pink. Save this, save this. I'm going to come and refresh. Everyone saw? I have my div box. What's the problem here? What's the problem with my div box? Need to fill. My text is not inside it now. What's the problem? Height is the problem, right? I have only put 10 pixel. So 10 pixel is only up to here. It's not able to cover this entire area. So increase it. Shall we make it 100 pixel? I think 100 might be too much. We'll make it 100 pixel and see below. 100 is also not enough. Let's make it 150. 150 pixel. Okay, now let's, okay, you guys can see it. One more question. I want to increase the gap between the border and my text. What do I use? The border of my div box and the text. Excellent. We call that padding. So everybody over here, I'm going to add one more property called padding. And padding, shall we make it 5 pixel? Padding of 5 pixel. So now there will be a gap between the border and my text. Everyone saw that? This is my first div box. Okay. Okay, this is working for you. How about you? Okay. Right. Then guys, girls, everybody, now what I'm going to do is, can you all read with me? Everybody, inside, can you all put a comment over here? We're going to work with something called a Descendant Selector. I'll tell you what that means, okay? Just put a comment over here. Descendant Selector. Below is a Descendant Selector. It's a bit difficult for me to give you all examples for this, but we have to know about it, know about them. Descendant Selector. Can everyone take that down? Okay. Below is a Descendant Selector. Now everybody, guys, girls, everyone, did you all type that? Below is the Descendant Selector. So what is the Descendant Selector? Now everybody, I want all the paragraphs inside this div tag to be affected. Meaning I want all of them to have a font color of red, and I want them to be bold. Is it clear? I want all the paragraphs inside box 1 to be red color and bold. So I can use something called a Descendant Selector. What does that mean? Look here. I'm talking about box 1 now. So I can say hashtag box 1. And then I can keep a space and type P. This is what we call a Descendant Selector. Now what does it mean? It means apply the following properties to all the P's inside box 1. You know what descendant means now? All the children of a individual. That's what we call descendants. Not the children, the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren, all of them. Is it clear? So when we say Descendant Selector over here, I'm talking about all the paragraph tags that are inside box 1. All the paragraph tags that come inside box 1 should be affected. Are we okay with this? How do you type a Descendant Selector? You type your element, keep a space, and then mention the tag. Are we okay with this? So now look here, I'm going to say over here, everybody, over here, what am I going to say? I'm going to say, what am I going to say here? The font color, I want the color to be red, and I want the font style or the font weight. I want the font weight to be bold. I want it to be bold. Is it clear? Now you will notice all the paragraphs inside box 1 is going to be red and it's going to be bold. I'm going to save this. Everyone hold on for a second. I'm going to refresh this. Did you see? Red and bold. All the paragraphs. Are we good? Can you do this first? Can you do this first? Everyone try this out. Talk to yourselves, okay? In a Descendant Selector, what happens? This paragraph, all the paragraphs inside box 1 are going to be affected. Okay? Now everybody, below this text box, outside this text box, boys, girls, outside this text box, I'm going to open a paragraph. What do you all think about this paragraph? Will it get affected? It will not get affected because it is outside box 1. Because it is outside box 1. So I'm going to say over here, I'm going to just put a paragraph and say, this paragraph will not be affected by the Descendant Selector since it is outside box 1. Long paragraph, but just talk to yourselves and type it. Since it is outside box 1. Shall we see? I'm going to save this. I'm going to come and refresh. Everyone saw? This paragraph appears as an ordinary paragraph. It doesn't get affected because it is outside box 1. Okay? Okay? Since it is outside box 1. Are we good? Going to confuse you all now. Inside box 1, I'm going to open another box with paragraphs inside there. Everyone with me? Inside box 1, I'm going to open up another box. Okay? So everybody, below the last paragraph of box 1, I'm going to open up another text box. Inside text box, I'm going to have another text box. Div open and div close. And inside this, I'm going to have another paragraph. And I'm going to say over here, this is a paragraph inside a text box, which is inside box 1. Okay, this is a paragraph inside a text box, which is inside box 1. Okay, now don't refresh your web browsers. Tell me, will this paragraph change to red color and bold? It will. What is your reason behind it? Because it is inside box 1. It's a descendant now still. Everybody, this paragraph is going to become red, even though it's inside a different text box. It doesn't matter because this paragraph is a descendant of box 1. Everyone okay with this? Okay. Now shall we see if it actually happens? Let's save and refresh. Come and refresh, guys. Can you see? This, even though it's inside another text box, even though it's inside box 1, it's a descendant of box 1 now, it gets affected. Are we all okay with this? Okay. Talk to yourselves. Okay. This is what you call a descendant selector. All the paragraphs inside it will get affected. Even if they are inside multiple text boxes, doesn't matter, they will get affected. Are we good? Do you all know the difference between a child and a descendant? So everybody, my son is my child. My grandson is a descendant. You all know the difference between child and descendant. My son is also a descendant. You all agree? My son is also a descendant of me. But my grandson is not my child. My grandson is only a descendant. Makes sense, right? A child is both child and descendant. A grandchild, a great-grandchild, they are only descendants. Okay. So, are you ready for the next one? Now we are going to create box number 2. Okay. Everybody, are you done with this entire area, guys online? Are you done with this entire area? Right. Now we are going to create a new text box. Okay. So now I'm going to open up a new text box now. Div open, div close, ID I'm going to give it box 2. ID is box 2. And over here I'm going to open a paragraph. And this paragraph, what is it going to say? This paragraph follows a child selector. This paragraph follows a child selector. Okay. I'm going to open another paragraph and say, this is another paragraph. This is another paragraph inside box 2. This is another paragraph inside box 2. So now I have created another div box. Okay. And we're going to work with child selector now. Are we good? Okay. So inside box 2, we have 2 paragraphs. Now everybody, shall we first give some properties for box 2? Shall we give the same properties as box 1? We'll just change the color only. I'm going to copy the same properties as box 1 for box 2. Okay. So I'm going to change it to box 2. Only the background color I'll change. I'll make it yellow. Background color yellow. Are we okay? I made the background color yellow. Are we good? Let me see if it is working now. Save CSS, save HTML. When I come and refresh, guys, so far so good. No problem. Now everybody, we are going to make use of this child selector. But before we do that, I want to create another text box inside this text box. You get it? I want you all to see the differences here. Okay. So everybody, I'm going to copy this text box again. The earlier text box that we created inside the text box. Let's copy it. Copy it. Control C. And come and paste it below this paragraph. Control V. This is a paragraph which is inside a text box, which is inside text box, which is inside box 2. Too many text boxes, no? Okay. Okay. Now inside box 2, we have another div box. Okay. What's wrong? Now, can I ask you all logically, guys? This paragraph is a child of box 2. This paragraph is not a child, it is a descendant. Okay. So now, in my CSS styling, boys, girls, everyone look here. I'm going to use something called a child selector. Okay. So over here, I'm going to say below is a child selector. Okay. And here, what do I say? How do I talk about it? I will say box 2. And I forgot the name of this symbol. What do we call this symbol? Approximate symbol. I forgot the name of the symbol. Okay, so we say, everyone know where the symbol is? Above your tab key, can you all see it? Above your tab key, that approximate symbol is there. Approximate. What's wrong? Okay. Anyway, we call this is the approximate one. Okay. So here, what do we say? Box 2 paragraph, which means apply this to all the children paragraphs of box 2. Apply this to all the children paragraphs of box 2. What is the property we want? We want the color to be dark blue. The color should be dark blue and the font style should be italic. Font style should be italic. Okay. Now everyone see over here, guys, stop for a second and look here. I have told apply this to all the child paragraphs of box 2. Child paragraphs. So now when I save it and save this, when I come and refresh this, where's my web page? Everyone saw this? Nothing happened. Why is that? Sorry. Wrong symbol. Angle bracket. My bad. Angle bracket. I'm so sorry. Not the approximate symbol, angle bracket. For child selector, we say angle bracket. Save it. Now when we come and refresh it, can you all see, guys? This paragraph is a child, it changed. This paragraph is a child, it changed. This is not a child, this is a descendant. Okay? So it doesn't get affected. Are we okay with this? This is angle bracket. The full stop. Okay? So we call this a child selector. Apply it only to the children of box 2. Okay? Apply it only to the children paragraph tags of box 2. Okay? Everybody, can you all create box 3? Everybody is okay, right? So far, no problems, no? Can you all create box 3? Having a problem? I'll come to you now. We're going to take a break shortly. Can you all just create box 3 and then we'll take a break? So div ID this time will be box 3. ID equal box 3. I haven't given any content inside it. You all can just mention this if you all want. This paragraph follows a sibling selector. There are two types of siblings, adjacent sibling and general sibling. Let's mention that also. Adjacent sibling selector. Adjacent sibling selector. Okay. Then can I put another paragraph and say, this paragraph is outside, this paragraph is outside box 3. Okay. One more and then we'll go for a break. This is another paragraph outside box 3. Okay. Right, guys. With that, we'll be taking a break. This is another paragraph. Okay, everybody, we'll be back at 11. Okay, boys, girls, everyone, we now move on to something called adjacent sibling selector. And inside this, guys, I have inside this box 3, boys, girls, inside box 3, I have a paragraph. I have a paragraph inside it. And outside it also, I have 2 paragraphs. Everybody okay with this? Now, boys, look here. When we talk about adjacent sibling, can you first design the box? Everybody, can we design box 3? Let's copy and paste it. Let's copy and paste it. Now, look at box 3. I'm going to give it a different background color only. Instead of yellow, I'm going to use light blue. Instead of yellow, I'm going to use light blue. Okay? Right. So, everyone, this is what we have on our screen. I should have kept some space, no? So I'm going to keep some space before box 2, before box 3, BR tag open, BR tag open. Okay, let's keep some spaces. Okay, that's better. Right. Now, everybody, guys, girls, all of you, when it comes to adjacent sibling selector, everyone, look here. I'm going to use something called adjacent sibling selector. Okay. So I'm going to say box 3, okay, and I'm going to refer to it sibling. Okay, so I'm going to say plus paragraph. We call this an adjacent sibling selector. And what are the properties, guys? The color is going to be, what do you call? Purple, a purple color. And the font size is going to be, the font size, I'm going to make it 30 pixel. The font size, I'm going to make it 30 pixel. Now, everybody, guys, girls, let's put a note, let's put a comment also here. Below is an adjacent sibling selector. Below is an adjacent sibling selector. Now, guys, these properties, everybody, can you look at my screen for a second? In adjacent sibling selector, what happens? These properties are going to be applied only to the paragraph tag that is next to box 3. Did you hear my words? These properties of color purple and font size 30 pixel will only be applied to the paragraph tag that is next to box 3. Is it clear? Let me rephrase myself again. The color purple and font size 30 pixel will be applied only to the paragraph tag that appears immediately after box 3. You get it? You'll understand what I said? These properties will be applied only to the paragraph tag that appears immediately after box 3. So everybody, do you think this paragraph is going to get affected? This paragraph is a child. It's not going to get affected. What about this paragraph? This paragraph is immediately next to box 3, right? It's going to get affected. What about this paragraph? This paragraph, no, because it comes later on. Is it clear? So only this particular paragraph is going to be affected because it's an adjacent sibling. It appears immediately after this box 3 here. Are we all okay with this? So everyone, let's save our work. Let's save our work. Let's come and refresh. And now, guys, girls, can you see? Only the paragraph that appeared immediately after box 3, that is only the adjacent sibling. Only that gets affected. Are we okay with this? Now, guys, if you'll ask me to give you all real life examples, very difficult for me to give you all. Like, we have to use this. For what would you use this? Okay, I want to affect only one element that's after a particular element. So you all should know about it. You all should know the differences between them. So now you all know about what? Descendant selector, child selector, adjacent sibling selector. And we have our last one, which is general sibling selector. Okay? General sibling selector. So everyone, you all understood how adjacent sibling works, right? The element that appears immediately after box 3 will only be affected, not the others. Okay? Are we good? Okay. Now I'm going to open up another div box. I'm going to open up another div box. I'm going to call it div box number 4. Can you put 2 break tags after this also? No need. No, there are 2 paragraphs now, so no need. I'm going to open up another div box. I'm going to call it box number 4. div open, div close. ID is going to be called box 4. Inside this, I'm going to put a paragraph. Okay, copy paste. This paragraph follows a general sibling selector. Okay. Then outside this div box, I'm going to have 2 paragraphs. Everybody okay with this? This paragraph is outside box 4. This is another paragraph outside box 4. Can you guys do box 4, please? Let me see how it looks on my web page. When I refresh, guys, right now, no problems at all. Okay, so general sibling, it applies to all the siblings. Okay, adjacent is the one immediately after. No? So everybody, now we move on to general sibling, all the siblings. Okay, can you first modify box 4? I'll copy box 3's properties. Box 3's properties, I'll copy and paste it over here and call this box 4. Here, I'll just change the background color from light blue to gray. Okay, I'll use gray. Are we good? Let me see if it works. Let me come and refresh this. Okay, you can see I have a text box with a paragraph inside it, and I have 2 paragraphs outside it as well. Okay, Now we are going to use something called general sibling, all the siblings. Okay, let me put a comment over here. Below is a general sibling selector. General sibling selector. Now guys, girls, what do I do over here? How do we use a general sibling selector? So what do I do, guys? Box 4, hashtag box 4. And now how do we mention general? We use the approximate symbol. Above tab it's there. Above tab it's there. So all the general siblings of paragraph in box 4. What do I want to do there? I want the color to be, or I want them to be highlighted. So I'll say background color. I want their background color to be yellow. Okay. Now this background color of yellow will be applied to all the paragraphs that come after box 4. All the paragraph tags that come after box 4. That's what we call general sibling. Applied to all the paragraphs that come after box 4, not inside box 4. Sibling now. Okay. So now when you save this, let's see how our output looks. Guys, girls, can you see all the paragraphs that appear after box 4 are highlighted or have a background color of yellow. Are we good? So we call this general sibling. Okay? Problem? Okay with this, guys, all of you? We call this general sibling selector. Everyone, we call this our general sibling selector. Apply this to all the paragraph tags after. Okay, right. Then guys, girls, shall we just do a recap? Under simple selectors, what did we have? We had the universal selector. We had the, you can mention the tag itself, element selector. Then you can mention the ID, which we called ID selector, or you can mention the class name, which is class selector. Under combined selectors, what did we have? You can mention what is inside, which we call child selector. Then you can mention what is everything that is inside, which we call descendant selector. Then the ones that are next to it, adjacent sibling selector, and everything that is next to it, general sibling selector. Are we all okay with this? These are the 4 types of combined selectors that we learned. Okay? Right, guys, girls. Okay, all of you all. Let's keep moving then. We have 15 minutes more. Okay, now? Let's do a little more and then we'll call it. Okay, right. Everybody, I'm going to move on to a new lesson. Right, everybody, can you all take up a new lesson, CSS Fonts.html? Okay, CSS Fonts. So lesson number 29. We'll work with external styling. Lesson number 29, file, new file. and I'm going to save this as number 29 CSS Fonts .html. I'm going to first create my HTML web page, CSS Fonts .html. Okay. Then I'm also going to create my CSS file, new file, and I'm going to save it as lesson number 29 CSS Fonts .css. CSS Fonts .css. And now I'm going to click on save. So I have my HTML file on the left and my CSS file on the right. Shall we get the opening tags, everybody? I'm going to get the opening tag. Just come to HTML and type HT. If the snippet shows up, you choose it. This is what I want. I'm going to give a title of CSS Fonts. Okay. Let's give a heading also that says working with fonts in HTML using CSS. Okay. Now, while it goes, everybody. Everybody, guys, girls, can everyone look at my screen? I need to explain something to you all over here. Everyone look here below. You all need to work right now. Okay? Can everyone read this with me? Boys, everyone, can you all read this with me? Choosing the right font has a huge impact on how users, experience your website. Okay? The right font can create a strong identity for your brand. You know what identity means? Everybody, by looking at your fonts, people can recognize your brand. Think about Coca-Cola, guys. They always use that cursive font when they write Coca-Cola. So even if they write something else using that cursive font, the moment you see that font, what comes to your mind? Coca-Cola only comes. Okay? So all of you choosing your fonts is important in order for you to be easily recognizable. Just by the fonts you use, people know what company it is. Okay? So to maintain an identity, you need to ensure that you always use the same font. Okay? Right. Now, everyone, there are 5 generic font formalities. Okay? Families. There are 5 different font families that you all need to be aware of. Okay? You all won't be using it, but you all need to know about it. Okay? Can you guys read with me the first type? The first type, we have something called as serif fonts. Okay? We have one category of fonts known as serif fonts. What's so special about them? They basically have, they say, small strokes at the end of each letter, meaning they have pointy edges. Serif fonts, they have pointy edges. I'll give you a very simple example of a serif font. Everyone look here. I'll just type over here platinum. I'll type here platinum, okay? And I'm going to make this Times New Roman. Times New Roman is an example of a serif font, a font which has pointy edges. Can you guys see the edges of every letter? The edges of every letter is pointy here. So we call this a serif font. I'll give you guys another example. Take elephant, for example. Look at this font. The edges are all pointy here. Okay, so we call this a serif font. All good? Okay, right. Likewise, there are many other examples also. When you open this up, you can see over here, there are many other examples. I can, for example, take Adobe Caslon Pro Bold. This is also an example of a serif font. All good? So we know serif fonts are fonts that have pointy edges. Okay, right. Can you guys read this? They create a sense of formality and elegance. Okay, right, awesome. Can you guys read the next one? Sans serif font. They have clean lines, meaning no pointy edges. Is it clear? They create a modern and minimalistic look. Okay, they don't look very formal. They create a modern, minimalistic, simple look. I'll give you all examples of sans serif font. The best example I can give you all is Microsoft Sans Serif. Everyone look here, we have a font called Microsoft Sans Serif. Look here, it doesn't have any, boys are watching, it doesn't have any pointy edges. Okay, it looks like a very simple font. What about Calibri? What about Arial? What about Comic Sans? Look at Calibri, no pointy edges. Look at Comic Sans MS, no pointy edges. Okay, these are what we call sans serif fonts. Okay, second category is also okay. Let's move on to the third category. The third category, we have something called mono space fonts. What does that mean? Can you guys read this? Here all the letters have the same width. They create a mechanical look. Mono space fonts are fonts generally we use for coding purposes. Our coding fonts, normally we use mono space fonts. I'll give you guys an example. Look at this font. Courier, for example. Make it smaller. Everyone look here. This is what we call a mono space font. The gap between every character is always the same. Okay, what have they told us over here? Here all the letters have the same fixed width. Okay, are we okay? These are what we call mono space fonts. They give you what you call a mechanical look, generally for coding purposes, to illustrate code, to show code. Even in your WhatsApp messages, this font is available, right? You all know that? Even in your WhatsApp messages, you can choose this font. Especially if you're talking about coding in your message, you can change the font to a mono space font. Example, Courier. We have another one also here. It's called mono. No, it's not there. We had another one called. We had another one. I forgot its name. Cascadia, something like that. Yeah. Okay, we had another one. I forgot the name of it. Okay, doesn't matter. Then that's the third category here. Can you guys look at the fourth category? Cursive font. Imitate human handwriting now. Everyone okay with this? This is what we call cursive font. Okay. So now look at this. For example, if I were to take brush script, okay, it looks somewhat like a cursive font. Okay. And then the last category, we have something that we call fantasy fonts. These are decorative or playful fonts. You get it? For example, look at this. Chiller. If I go with a font like Chiller, it's a decorative font. Is it clear? You would generally use it to, excite the user on your page. Okay? Decoration purposes. Are we all okay with this? So can you guys remember these 4 categories of fonts, everyone? Okay? Not 4, 5. I'm sorry. There are 5. Serif, sans serif, monospace, cursive, and fantasy fonts. Are we okay with these 5 categories? You all need to know about these 5 categories. Okay? Are we good? Right. Now, everybody, when you are putting fonts into your web page, when you're designing a web page, you will choose a font now. Remember, not everybody's computer will have the font that you're using. You get it? You would love, I'm sure, when you're doing a website, let's say you're doing a website about party information. You have, for example, a website where you advertise the party items you sell. You would want the website to be exciting and decorative and all. So you might want to go for a font like Chiller. You get it? But keep in mind, guys, even though you use Chiller, on everybody's computer, the Chiller font may not be available. So when a font is not available, what does your web browser do? It will substitute it with something else. So you never know what it's going to substitute it with. So sometimes the substitution font might be horrible. You get it? Sometimes the web browser will substitute this with a font which looks horrible, but you don't have control over it. So everybody, when we are designing web pages, can you read this sentence with me? Read this sentence with me. The font family property holds several font names as a fallback system. Fallback system means what? If one is not available, try out the second one. If the second one is also not available, then try out the third one. You get it? Because you're basically having a backup system when it comes to your fonts. Can everyone look over here? Look here. I have told use Times New Roman. If Times New Roman is not available, then use something called Times. If Times is also not available, then use serif. This is what we call the font family property here. where you're giving it backup options, so we call it fallback options. If one is not available, use the second one. If that's not available, use the third one. Are we all okay with this, sir? Okay, can we just practice this out, everyone? Can we just, but I can't show the output right now, but just try it out. Okay, so I'm gonna put a paragraph over here and say, we use the font family property in order to have fallback fonts in our web page. Fallback, we'll open up another paragraph and say, fallback fonts are used in order to provide a web browser with an alternative font if the primary font is not available on the user's computer. Are we good? Not with N, no, it's two, no. So with alternative fonts. With alternative fonts, if the primary font is not available on the user's computer. Okay. Now, guys, girls, can you all also do the linking of CSS to HTML? Your CSS file, you need to link it to HTML. So I'm going to use the link tag, link, and I'm going to copy and paste the CSS file name, which is over here. Control C, I'm here, Control V, dot CSS. Students online, all of y'all, don't forget about this. Okay. Shall we just ensure that the linking is proper? Shall I put a background color of red? Everybody, I want to make sure my CSS linking is successful. I'll just put a background color of red, body, background color, and I'll make it red. And we'll see if it becomes red. Then I know the linking is successful now. Now when I come and open it up, my web page is becoming red. So I know my CSS linking has been successful. Okay. Can you also try it out and see if your CSS linking is working? Okay. Okay, our last thing for today then, everyone. Our last thing for today is, what do we do here? I'm removing this background color. It's working for me now. I'm removing it. I know it's successful now. I'm removing it. Now what am I going to do, everyone, over here? I'm going to give some fallback fonts for the paragraph. So I'm going to say paragraph tag. I'm going to be using my element selector, and I'm going to say font family. Font family. Initially, I wanted to use a font called Chiller. I think many of you all will not have Chiller. That's why I'm purposely using this. If Chiller is not available, I wanted to use Comic Sans MS. If this is also not available, if this, I'm sure many of you all will not have this also, then go with Area or go with Tahoma. Okay, if Chila is not available, go for Comic Sans MS. If that's not available, then go for Tahoma. Now for me, I have Chila, it's gonna work for me here. So everyone, I come and refresh, guys. Can you all see I have Chila, it works for me. See whether it works for you all, whether Tahoma appears or Comic Sans is a, what do you call it, like a childish writing font. Okay. And Tahoma is of course a sans serif font. Check and see which one you have got. Chila is available on you. Chila is available for you. All right, you're going to Tahoma. Comic Sans serif. So check and see, guys. Everybody, this is the Chila font. Many of you all may not get it. This is the Chila font. It's like a decorative font. Okay. Comic Sans is a more of a, what do you call? What do we call that? Cursive font. It's like a child writing. Okay. And Tahoma is a sans serif font. Has no pointy edges. So see which one you get. Okay. There is some more to do here, guys. Now all of you, next Thursday we don't have class, but Friday we have our exam. No, we'll try only HTML. We'll try and do it next Friday then. Okay. So when we pick this up, it will be in 2 weeks time. No, in 2 weeks time only we will be picking this up again. Okay. Right, all of you, have a nice weekend then. Take care. Stay safe. See you all next Friday. Okay. Bye bye.